Hey guys, welcome to Proud Masculine Video. Today's video we're going to talk about no contact. And can you please hit like, comment, subscribe to get new videos as they come out, as I'll be going more in depth on this topic and others related to dating and other things. But today it's going to be about no contact. And so it starts off, you meet somebody, you start off at a super high level of attraction. And she's head over heels for you, head over heels for her. It feels completely effortless. And, due to whatever the circumstances were, the relationship moving along, either you become complacent, became needy, or bitchy, or, insecure, or maybe you were too distant, too mean, no matter. There's something that has come up along the time of the relationship where it has caused distance. And typically what you'll find in these situations is the guy becomes a little less focused on what he was doing and who he was being when you meet the woman, and more focused and pushing your focus more towards her being the center of your life. And I think it's just a natural instinct of men when you come across a woman who showers you with attention and validation, and your natural instinct is to want to reward her. And by that, we think reward, we associate reward with, more attention, compliments, more of our time. And so what happens over time, we hanging with the fellas less, making it a point to be around her more, rearranging our workout schedules, and whatever. You get the idea. And inevitably, over time, your purpose, your focus is still important, but not quite as important as she has become. And then you find yourself being overly attentive, always available, becoming more flexible, relaxing your boundaries with this woman, because so what happens is inevitably it causes some distance to where she starts pulling away. And so with that comes the inevitable breakup. And you start off with someone with such a high level of attraction, your instinct is to, like, you can't believe it. You can't believe this is happening. You're crushed. You're devastated. They seem to have done it so easily, and you're thinking, oh, how could they do this to me? Everything, and it's a blow to your ego. You've built that attachment. You've gotten a good hit of that drug, that love drug, that chemical release from having someone, and yeah, that's gone now. And you've basically gone into withdrawals. Like, that's that feeling. That's that separation anxiety brings about that feeling like you're dying. It fucking hurts. It sucks. So your instinct is to go chase and make it right and correct and take action and convince her that you can make the change, you can do it right. And at this point, she's done is she's unilaterally decided that she's going to change the terms of this relationship between you and her. And she's made that decision. And it goes the other way to, a guy doing this to a girl. But I'm not here to talk to women. I'm here to address men. And so, yeah, now she's gone. And you're freaking the fuck out. You don't know what to do. And so then you're going into obsession mode, to where you can't stop thinking about her. If you could just have one more talk with her, you could convince her. You could say all the right things. You could absolutely be able to convey, logically what it is you did and what pushed her away, and you're ready to accept fault. You're even willing to take all the blame just for her to give you the chance of getting her back. Desperate mode, obsession. And in the meantime, this person is in like, they're relieved. They're in relief mode. So for whatever reason it is that came about, typically it's because men tend to show up in the beginning, and there are certain things that can happen. And you can have things in life that come up that, certain circumstances that come up that are out of your control. But the fault is because you lose awareness and you start becoming needy. You start relying on her for that comfort, for that validation. In small doses, in very, short spans and very far apart instances that this happens, is acceptable. Women do not want to be your shoulder to cry on. That's disgusting after a certain point. How is she going to look up to you and feel comfortable and protected from a guy who's whining to her about how hard his job is, or he's getting shit from a coworker, or he just doesn't feel like he's good enough? Like, no, but that's another video. So we're going to get into moving forward and where she's at is now the relief phase. She's glad to be away from that. So it's a breath of fresh air. Now here it is. You're dying inside. She finally feels free. She finally feels like she's detached from because that's a lot of pressure. And the breakup, that breakup happened on Friday. Well, guess what? She's been thinking about this shit for 4 weeks or more now. And the weight of that alone has been a huge burden for her moving forward. And I know, don't play like you didn't see the changes in behavior, her pulling away, the calls getting less, the texts are short and cold, even the physical time together, like the sex dwindling, not as exciting. You know it. You know deep down, but you want to be in denial and say, oh, it'll pass, it's going to pass. And, in that moment, you're dealing with all the other stuff, so you don't want to really have to take a look at where it is you're falling short. So, and, you make a ton of excuses of why, and reassuring yourself it's going to pass, rationalizing whatever you have to do to, well, the day comes when you're faced with the reality of it. And, if this obviously applies to being in a relationship. If you're not, this kind of stuff really doesn't matter. It has no effect. So, obviously this is about being in a relationship. But, so that attachment builds, she rips it apart, you're dying, she feels free. Your instinct is to chase and explain and rationalize. And guess what? She doesn't want to hear it. Her mind's made up. She's had to go through the dilemma of breaking it off with your ass. And, she's got some relief from that. So she's free of the burden of having to go through with it, be thinking about it, have to go through with it, the stress of that. And then she's free of your needy ass, or your, if you were an asshole, like if y'all were fighting all the time, she's free from that. So she's just thinking about, the women thinking of a new fresh start. I get to start my life over. And so she's, kind of excited. Now, it hurt for her to have to do that to a degree. It depends on how bad it's gotten to where she's like, I'm just done with this motherfucker. And she feels nothing. But 9 times out of 10, she's had she's not exactly, there's some compassion that comes with, doing that. So what you don't want to do at this point, you don't want to do anything in regards to her. She's made the decision. This is her decision. Frankly, what her actions say is what? She doesn't want to be with you. For whatever reason. So you give yourself a little bit of time on the front end of that to come to terms with what it is you've done. And really explore it. Maybe you didn't really do anything that bad. So this is so important why it's good to not go running back and trying to explain and taking the blame and then say, "Oh, change, baby, I'll do anything." Because A, she don't want to hear it. B, you're not thinking clearly. You're not thinking at all. You're just in a bunch of these feelings. That's all you're doing. You're acting on pure emotion. You feel rejected. You feel, somebody's taking your drug away. This person that you've built habits and routines with this person, and they're gone. They're gone. Everything you see reminds you of them. And you hear a stupid song, or a restaurant you ate at, or you're there now, and it sucks. She's not. So yeah, she's not going to want to hear it anyway. But you don't want to put yourself in that position where you're just going to vomit exactly what it is you think she wants to hear in order to get it back, because you don't want to be in that position. And you've completely lost the power. You have no control, no say so, no nothing. And if they come back, it's like going to be a return for pity, and they're going to think so little of you that you don't want that. So, in regards to her, do nothing. And this is where the no contact thing comes in. And let me be clear. I say no contact. It doesn't mean if in the near future she reaches out to you, do you ignore her? That's not. I've heard this theory, and it's absolutely foolish. That's just stupid. Here this person is like, you felt rejected. So if she comes out and reaches out to you and you completely ignore her, what do you think's going to happen? Yeah, she's going to quit trying, and that's just going to. And this is if you even want them back. So if you don't want them back, you don't care. Ignore them, do whatever you want. But I mean, you don't want to like say, all right, that's it, fuck this. I'm blocking her. I'm ignoring her. Like, that's childish. That's childish, and chances are you're being kind of childish in the relationship, and that's why you're where you are. And so all you're doing, you're not reaching out anymore. Chances are you've made it known that you don't want this, that you didn't want to be a part, that you wanted to try to work it out. And she made the ultimate decision to pull away and end it. So, and believe me, they know. They know you don't want it to happen like this. They know that you don't want it to go down like this, that you want them back. But I mean, if there's any critical time to preserve some dignity and self-respect is now. Like, it's going to take a lot of energy for you to resist, reaching out and chasing and pursuing. But you can't do it at this point. And the more you do it, the further away the prospect of hearing from this person again goes. And so, in the meantime, so give yourself a couple days. Time it out. 3 days, 4 days, where you're going to sit, mope, feel sorry for yourself, ultra analyze everything you did that caused it, and, eat like shit, lay in bed all day, all these things you're going to do. And do it. Feel it. Feel it to heal it. Don't try to pretend you're not all fucking broken up inside, because you are. And the more you fight it, the longer it's going to last, and it's just not pretty. So just let it happen. Allow it to be. And there's a reason these things come up. There's a biological reason that you're going to go through this stuff, and you have to. So just use it for what it is. It's a mechanism. Pay attention. Feel it. Let it happen. But don't let that be the driver moving forward. At some point, you got to put it to an end. You got to put it to a stop. And rediscover the man you were before you met her, the guy that attracted her. So, and the reason you want to do that, so look, now we're done with her, okay? The no contact is you moving on with the thought in mind that this relationship is done. You're done, and she's moved on, and you're moving on. So you're not doing the following things that I'm about to say for her or for anybody for that matter. I mean, it's going to work out as a benefit to whichever direction you go in the future. But bear with me. This is where you want to be. You want to be back on doing whatever it is you were doing that was working so well for you when you initially met this person. And, find that thing, that purpose, that one thing that you do that compels you emotionally, that thing you would do even if you got paid, if you didn't get paid, and throw yourself into that shit. Go back and get your body right. If you've been skipping out on the gym or you're slacking there, focus on, and that's a great reliever of anxiety and depression is exercise. It's so underrated, so underrated. They'll put you on a ton of pills and medicine before they think to go tell you, straighten up your diet and go lift shit. And, start that and just forget about anybody for right now. I mean, of course, if you got children, I'm not saying skip out on your kids or be, a absentee father or anything, but put your energy back into you because you ain't going to be shit for these kids if you're moping around the rest of your days, pining over some woman who decided you wasn't good enough for her. So get back in the gym. Get back on your purpose, whether it's something you do on the side, if you're an artist and you like to paint, or you like to play music, or you like to dance, or if working out is your passion and you like doing that, throw yourself into that and put some distance between you and this breakup. Then get back to maybe you have some form of self-help, some affirmations, some books you're reading. Start reading a book. Pick up a book on something that you're interested in, something that can help you level up in life. Whether it be, relationship related. I recommend, there's a handful of books that I recommend, Rational Male, No More Mr. Nice Guy, Jocko Willink, Extreme Ownership book. I mean, that's a real good book. So, anything that can add something to your life every day and get back on that. Start to internalize the badass you are. Get back to that place you were when y'all met. And so even if you never hear from this person again, you're back on track, dude. A lot shorter than you think, you're going to be back on track. And I can't give you a timeline. It's different for if people have been through this before. Some people have had healthy childhoods and they have a good image of themselves. Some people are just beaten down and have no self-esteem, and it's going to take a little more time. And then get in touch with dating coaches if you're having problems in that area. Get a mentor. Get somebody who can guide you through this minefield of improvement and leveling up. Somebody who's been there. There's no shame in that. The most successful, prominent people in this world who are, strong, successful, wealthy, well-rounded people have mentors. And that's common sense. To me, anyway. I don't know. So you're going to start doing that. And you're not going to be childish and block this person from your social media and block her number. And you're not doing any of that. You're always going to leave the door open. So you've made it known that, okay, I do not want this. You're going through the part where this really fucking sucks. So, she's doing her thing. And eventually, it's going to tip. You're going to be here at the bottom and she's here on top. That shit's going to start balancing out. Then, she's going to have some time apart where she's going through this relief period, and then, it's great, it's magical, she's having fun, she's seeing her friends more. Then she hasn't heard from you. So now she's going to be wondering, at some point, it's going to creep back in. I haven't heard from them. She's going to see something in a house that reminds you of, or she's going to go to a place where y'all went, or anything. You get the idea. And she's going to realize that she hadn't heard from you. And maybe you have some loose affiliations, common friends that, And you will come up in those conversations at some point. And if time has passed and they are hearing that you are asking about them and you look like shit and you look sad and depressed, and you're not going to ever be thought of this person. They're going to know, okay, I got this motherfucker. They have the power. You look weak still. And it's a complete turnoff. And they have no desire for that. And if you do have these mutual friends and you're booming, she's going to hear about that. She's going to know something. It's going to come over. If y'all have social media and you're posting your stuff and you're out living your life, having fun, doing things you enjoy, and you emanate this positive, this whole vibe, this energy of, I'm enjoying myself, I'm over you, I'm doing good. That's when this whole thing starts to, kind of go the other way. And the momentum starts to build in your favor. So then you're going to be thinking, okay, I can live without this person. I'm doing fine. I'm starting to feel better every day. You're getting in the mirror, your body's looking good. You're building your money up, you're in your purpose. You're back hanging out with your friends, people that you enjoy being around. Your mind's starting to clear up, the fog's lifting, things are clicking again. Well, on her end, that surge of, yahoo, I don't have to have this bullshit anymore. Well, that's not as fun anymore. Now she's realized that maybe she's thought a little too much of the freedom thing, and then inevitably down the line, the negative feelings associated with you at the end of that relationship begin to dissipate. All these great things, especially if you had a really hard, strong start out the gate, which is likely, that you had this real powerful, attraction, connection, chemistry, and all. Obviously the physical was there first, or you wouldn't even been talking, right? So, and then, those are the memories that start to rise to the surface. Now she's thinking, damn it. Now she's thinking, well, he hasn't called me. I wonder what's going on. Going out every night ain't so fun anymore. And, things are starting to settle down. She's had that relief that she needed to be away from. She had some breathing room. She's had time to think. And she starts thinking, well, maybe I was a little too reactive. Maybe he didn't do anything that bad. Maybe he wasn't that needy. And keep in mind, this is if you don't see each other, I don't know, it's weird because it's like they have this internal sensor or some shit, I don't know, that can tell when you start doing well, it's about the time you're going to hear from them again. And if you have any closer affiliations, she's going to get wind, and if she sees you doing better, getting stronger, getting your feet back underneath you, and she's going to start thinking, well, oh, golly, maybe he wasn't that weak guy. Maybe he was a guy. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe I had some shit going on, and I was taking out on him, and he was pulling away. Maybe he was reacting to how I was behaving. You never know. That's just examples. Obviously, we don't know exactly, but I have an idea that, at the very least, the bad, the negative begins to subside, and the positive and favorable memories and thoughts and emotions begin to come back. Now they rethinking shit. But here's the thing, you rethinking shit too. And you rethinking, how did I make such a big deal of this? Like, why? I'm doing great. And it's going to come to a point where, other people are going to see that. People notice this shit. People notice when you're down, and people notice when you're up. And you're going to begin to attract other women. And you're going to start getting, some IOIs from other women that, whether you act on that is on you or not, but by this point, you're going to be so far detached, you more than likely will. Then you're going to surpass so you're going to be even, and here you are. You're going to go up, and they're going to start going down, and they're going to wonder why they don't hear from you. they said they love me, but they don't hear from me. They're doing really good. They look happy. They look strong. They look healthy. Uh, what's going on here? I'm starting to miss them a lot. I don't hear from them, you know, and they're going to start to wonder, did I make a good decision here? Did I make the right decision by running off like this? And then, at that point, is when you're going to get the text about the pair of pajama pants I left there. Or, how's work? How's this going? Or it's going to be some random shit. 99% of the time. It's not going to be anything like, hey, I miss you, I'm rethinking everything, let's talk. It's going to be some dumb shit. Oh, you remember that time? And, I think I left a hair clip under the pillow. Can you check for me? Yeah, sometimes it's that silly, believe me. Where do you think I got the example from? So, and then, so at that point, you've got the upper hand again. You've got the power again. You've got the power of choice. They decided in the beginning, they made a unilateral decision to change the terms of that relationship, walk away, or put you away, or whatever. They ended it. Now, the pendulum is swung. Now you hold the power. Now you're going to make the decision. The ball's in your court. Ball's in your court. And you may be at a point where you're like, fuck this. I ain't going back to that shit. And you may not. You may genuinely still miss this person enough to where y'all had such a bond and a connection. And, you could see where you were at fault. And you're well aware. And moving forward with this person again, that you're not going to repeat the same mistakes and whatnot. So then it's your decision. But you take it slow. You don't go jumping back in. If they text you, you don't go running back. Oh my God, I missed you so much. Why did you leave? Like, we could have talked about it. No, you're probably not going to do that if you're in the state of mind you're in. Now, you may be prone to do that if you hear from them sooner. But at this point, you're shining again. You're standing tall. And you are in no rush. Because you've already come to the point where you've seen you're good without them. And that you've fully regained your self-respect and dignity to where you're thinking, well, if somebody doesn't want to be with me, then fuck them. They're lost. They missing out, not me. I have other women chasing me. I got my boys calling me all the time to go hang out. I got people who are interested and enthusiastic about spending time with me. And you don't want to? You told me to get the fuck? Okay. Bye. Bye, Felicia. And and that's where you are. And it's a great place to be. And you're going to ease back into this carefully. Now you're going to have the power. You're going to control the pace, the tempo. And you better believe if they're reaching out, they're thinking about you. A woman is not going to tell you that. Women are way more cunning and clever than we are with relationships. Now, as you're progressing, and usually the reason you're watching a video like this is because your heart has been ripped out of your chest and stomped out and put in a meat grinder and shoved up your ass. So you're pushed through desperation to find answers. Then you start with this video, then you find another one like it. Then you start learning about game, and you start learning about women's true nature and masculinity and femininity. It just snowballs. And maybe by this point you've looked at enough stuff to where, you start realizing some shit. And you're a different person at this point. You're undergoing a true metamorphosis. And, you're starting to learn game. Now you're building your game. And moving forward, you're not going to jump back into this head first, into the shallow end. I hope not anyway. Well, if you were, don't. I'm telling you, don't do that. Make the best of the situation. You have the power. You're now in a position of power where you're going to set the terms. You're going to set the terms. You're going to reestablish your boundaries. And moving forward this time, you're going to stick to it. But I'm getting way off topic because this is about no contact and attracting your ex back through no contact. I have a tendency to ramble. This stuff is very interesting to me. I take it very seriously. I'm very passionate about it. I go off in all different directions, I know. So we're running a little long here. So point is, it's going to suck in the beginning. They're going to be happy in the beginning. You're going to feel like shit. They're going to feel relieved. At some point, it's going to level off. You're going to be okay. They're going to be not as excited. They're just going to be, that was fun, but it's not miserable. Then you're going to be excited, and they're going to be in a shitter about it, and that's the process. But the thing is, you do not reach out for any reason. I don't care if it's her birthday, even if you left something, she owns it now. It's hers. Chalk it up. Charge it to the game. It's not yours anymore. You have no earthly reason to contact this person. If it's a wife, and you got children, keep it professional. Text only. What time I got to pick up this offspring? 3 o'clock. Cool, thanks. That's it. Nothing about how was your day at work. Did you ever paint that room? None of that dumb shit. Strictly business. About the kids or money, and that's it. And every time you reach out and make contact, that's just reassuring them that they've got you. And that you're too fucking weak and you have no self-respect to where somebody would reject you and you would chase them. They're rejecting, you're chasing. That's demonstrators of low value. That's not attractive. That's not sexy. That's not admirable. That's pathetic. Don't do it. I don't care what you got to do. If you got to call friends, because the friends are a good, what do they call that? Sounding board for where you are, and your friends will kind of take you under their wing a minute. And when they get tired of hearing the shit, they'll be like, all right, dude, man the fuck up. Enough. Jesus, I'm sick of hearing about you're heartbroken. I don't care anymore. Get over it. Bye. So that's what you want. And then don't reach out under any circumstances. And if you do, you've only set yourself back that much longer and that much further back. And when they do reach out, hopefully to a point where you're almost indifferent about it, to where you really are happy to hear from them, but you're not like, oh God, it's finally over, I get the love of my life back. Where you can just logically, calmly, with a confident, masculine approach, move into that shit and do it again if you want. If you want. You may not want to, but so I rambled on. This is going way too long. And I will make another video on some of the topics I spun off of this pertaining to no contact, like timelines, things to do you could be distracted from, the things you're going to go through in an exact timeline, the things they're going to be going through. So like, comment, subscribe, and see you on the next one.